The night was quiet. People were sleeping in their homes, watching TV or scrolling through their phones. The sky above Earth was calm, filled with stars. Then, without warning, every screen in every country turned black. Phones, televisions, laptops, even the lights in some places began to flicker. Panic spread. People looked around, confused and afraid. Suddenly, a voice spoke in a deep, cold tone. It echoed across every screen. The message was short, but terrifying. Surrender or be destroyed. A strange alien symbol appeared, glowing. Red like fire. No one had seen this symbol before, but everyone felt its power. It didn't belong to Earth. It came from the stars. Within minutes, news reporters started shouting across channels. Aliens have contacted Earth. This is not a drill. The message is real. The world changed in seconds. People ran outside. Some prayed, some cried. Others stood still, staring at the sky. Children asked their parents what was happening, but the parents had no answers. World leaders held emergency meetings. Soldiers were sent to protect major cities. Satellites picked up strange signals from deep space. Something was coming. Something. Big, high above Earth, telescopes found them. Hundreds of giant alien ships were moving fast. They were heading straight for the planet. These were warships, cold, black, and full of weapons never seen before. Each one was the size of a city. People on Earth panicked. Many believed it was the end of the world. After all, the message was clear. The invaders didn't want to talk. They didn't want peace. They wanted Earth to kneel or burn. But in one underground base, deep below the mountains, a group of humans didn't panic. They were calm, quiet, and focused. These were the top minds from different countries, scientists, military leaders, and engineers. They looked at each other after hearing the alien message. Then one of them, an old general with silver hair and sharp eyes, smiled. "They think we're weak," he said. The others nodded. The general walked to a large screen and pressed a red button. A secret file opened. On the screen were 3 words, Project Black Sun. Across the globe, secret signals were sent to hidden stations. Lights turned on in bunkers no one knew about. Satellites shifted their positions. A strange energy began to move under the Earth's surface. The plan had started. It was something no enemy had ever seen before. Not a bomb, not a gun, not an army. It was something worse, something made not to win wars, but to stop them forever. The leaders of Earth knew one thing. These aliens didn't want peace. They didn't care about words or treaties. They wanted to conquer. So Earth made a choice. Not to fight like before. Not to meet power with power. But to fight with something new. Something that could not be stopped. Something the invaders would never forget. As the alien fleet drew closer, people looked up in fear. But deep below, the general whispered, "They wanted war. But we'll give them something far worse." Far away in space, the alien commander of the Jorak Empire watched Earth on his screen. He laughed. "They are not ready," he said to his crew. "Their cities will fall in hours." But Earth was not sleeping. Earth was not afraid. Earth had been waiting, and the real battle hadn't even begun. The sky above Earth changed. First came the dark clouds. Then came the fire. People across the world looked up and gasped. Hundreds of massive alien warships broke through the atmosphere. They moved like shadows, quiet but full of danger. Each ship blocked out the sun. Birds scattered. Winds picked up. The world held its breath. The Jorak Empire had arrived. From space, the ships looked like floating mountains made of black metal, sharp, cold, and without emotion. Inside them were thousands of Jorak soldiers, tall, armored beings with red eyes and voices like broken glass. They had conquered many planets before. They thought Earth would be easy. Another weak world. Another quick victory. The Jorak commander, sitting on his throne-like chair, smiled as he gave the order. "Send one ship. Show them our power. Let them fear what's coming." A single warship broke from the fleet and rushed down toward a city below. The target was a major Earth city, filled with tall buildings, busy streets, and millions of people. Or so the Jorak thought. But when their ship landed, everything was silent. No traffic, no people, no screaming, no gunfire. The streets were empty. The buildings were dark. It was like the city had been abandoned in a hurry. The Jorak soldiers stepped out carefully. Their scanners picked up no life, only cold air and silence. "Where are they?" one soldier asked. Another replied, "Maybe they ran. Maybe they're hiding." But there were no signs of a fight. No dead bodies, no resistance, just a strange quiet. Too quiet. Then something strange began to happen. The Jorak warship started to lose power. Lights flickered, screens turned off. The main engine shut down. Inside the ship, the crew tried to fix it, but their tools didn't work. Their technology was being jammed. But by what? Panic grew. The ship's systems reported errors. Strange messages appeared in their language. "Leave. This is not your world." But no one had written them. Outside, the air felt colder. One soldier walked into a building to search for humans. He never came back. The other soldiers searched for him, but all they found was his helmet, on the floor, cracked open. The commander inside the ship shouted, "Pull them back! Something is wrong!" But it was too late. One by one, Jorak soldiers vanished. No gunshots, no explosions, just silence. They were being hunted. Back in space, the other Jorak ships watched with confusion. Their scout team was not responding. The city below looked normal, but now they couldn't contact anyone. The commander's smile slowly faded. "What is this?" he whispered. "Why is there no resistance?" Across the planet, the same thing happened. Other Jorak landing teams found the same emptiness. Cities with no people, streets without sound. And then, soldiers started disappearing there too. It was not war. It was something else. Back on Earth, deep underground, the human general watched it all on a screen. He turned to his team. "They expected a battle," he said. "But now they'll learn. Fear." The screen showed the Jorak ship struggling, lights dying, soldiers calling for help. Panic spreading. The general pressed another button. Somewhere in space, Earth's hidden satellites turned toward the enemy. They began to pulse with strange waves. Waves that couldn't be seen or touched, but they could be felt. A whisper passed through the Jorak ships, carried on static. "You came for war. Now meet the darkness." The commander of the Jorak fleet stood up, angry and confused. "What are these humans doing?" he growled. "Where is their army?" But Earth didn't need an army. It had already begun something far worse. The Jorak didn't know it yet, but they had stepped into a trap, not of weapons, not of bombs, but of fear. A fear that would grow stronger with every second they stayed, and the humans weren't finished, not even close. The Jorak soldiers moved through the empty city streets with growing fear. At first, they thought Earth was weak. Now they weren't so sure. They had landed in 5 major cities around the world. Every one of them was the same. Abandoned, dark, and silent. No resistance. No people. Just a strange feeling in the air. The silence was the worst part. It felt heavy, like the planet itself was watching them. Jorak warriors, trained for battle across galaxies, began to whisper among themselves. Something felt wrong. Their weapons worked, but their sensors did not. Their scanners showed no life, yet sometimes they heard soft footsteps behind them, or saw shadows moving too fast. Then the disappearances began. In one city, 2 soldiers entered. A subway tunnel. Only one came back, shaking, eyes wide, unable to speak. His armor was scratched. Deep marks like claws were across his back. But the cameras showed no enemy. Just him, running alone through the dark. Another soldier disappeared in broad daylight. He was walking ahead of the group, scanning the buildings. The others looked away for a moment. When they looked back, he was gone. No sound, no struggle, just an empty street. Panic started to spread. Jorak soldiers were trained not to fear. But now, they held their weapons tighter. They stopped talking. They stayed in groups of 3 or more. Even then, some vanished without warning. Every step they took, they expected something to jump from the shadows. But nothing came. Nothing except that growing fear. Inside one of the landed ships, the commander watched footage from all 5 cities. He saw his best warriors vanish on live feed. One moment they were there, the next just static. No signs of life, no signs of a fight. He slammed his fist on the control panel. "What kind of war is this?" he shouted. "Where are the humans?" Still no answer. The only thing they found was a message painted on a building wall. Large white letters, simple and clear. "You are not welcome." Some of the Jorak wanted to retreat, but the commander refused. "We are Jorak," he said. "We do not run." He ordered all remaining soldiers to gather in one area. "We fight as one." But even then, the attacks didn't stop. That night, the soldiers heard whispers in their sleep. Strange voices speaking in their language, calling their names. Some woke up screaming. Others refused to sleep at all. Lights inside the ship flickered. Doors opened and closed on their own. Security cameras showed shapes. Tall, thin shadows. With glowing eyes. But when soldiers rushed to those areas, nothing was there. Back on Earth, the human general watched everything from his underground base. The feeds from the alien ships were hacked. His team saw it all. "They're breaking," one soldier said. The general nodded. "Good. Let them feel what fear really." To Ishuo, it wasn't just fear. It was a plan. Earth had emptied its cities before the attack. Civilians had been moved into hidden bunkers. The military never prepared for a normal war. They prepared a psychological one. A war not of weapons, but of minds. Project Black Sun had been activated, and the Jorak were walking deeper into its trap. Across the alien fleet, confusion turned to fear. Some soldiers began to question the mission. "Why is there no enemy?" one asked. "Why do we keep losing men to shadows?" But no one had answers. The Jorak commander finally called for help from the Empire's main base. "Earth is not what we expected," he said. We need reinforcements." But the reply he got was strange. The voice on the other side didn't belong to the Jorak. It was human. "No one is coming to help you," it said. "You wanted war, but this is something else." The line went dead. Now the Jorak soldiers weren't just afraid. They were trapped, lost in empty cities, haunted by something they couldn't see. Their technology was failing. Their courage was fading. And Earth was just getting started. Something worse than war had begun. The alien fleet above Earth was silent. Inside the command ship, the Jorak leader paced the metal floor, his sharp boots echoing in the cold air. His eyes were filled with anger and fear. His soldiers were dying without a fight. There were no battles, no enemy soldiers, just strange lights, vanishing troops, and a silence that made even the bravest warriors tremble. He slammed his fist against the wall. "We are warriors. Why are we afraid of shadows?" But even he couldn't explain what was happening. Meanwhile, on Earth the cities remained empty. But something had changed. Strange machines hidden inside buildings had started releasing low-frequency sound waves, waves that humans couldn't hear, but that affected the Jorak's minds. Their thoughts became cloudy. Their nightmares grew stronger. Some soldiers began seeing things, figures watching them, eyes in mirrors, whispers coming from walls. Some tried to tell themselves it was just fear, just tricks. But then one of their own turned against them. In City Zone 3, a soldier screamed and opened fire on his own team. "They're inside me," he yelled before collapsing. His body twitched, then stopped. His teammates tried to help him, but his skin had strange marks, burned symbols they had never seen. It was like something had touched his mind and left a scar. Back on the Jorak flagship, a group of engineers worked to scan Earth for answers. They used every tool they had: heat scanners, energy detectors, mind readers. One device picked up something odd beneath the surface of the planet, a strange pulsing signal, alive, but not human, moving, growing. They showed it to the commander. "We don't understand it," one of them said. "It's not a weapon, it's not a creature, it's something else." The commander stared at the screen. The shape beneath Earth looked like a dark sun, slowly spinning deep underground. "What is that?" he whispered. No one could answer. At that same moment, in the hidden base beneath the Rocky Mountains, the human general watched the data with calm eyes. Around him, scientists and strategists worked without rest. Every alien movement was being tracked. Every step, every signal, every word. Earth knew everything the Jorak were doing. A young soldier turned to the general. "They found the black sun signal." The general smiled slightly. "Let them. They're already too deep." He turned toward a monitor. On it was a countdown. Only 48 hours left until Phase 2. He whispered, "They wanted to break us. Now we'll break them." From the inside. Meanwhile, in the alien fleet, strange problems were spreading fast. Food supplies were going bad. Water systems failed. Artificial oxygen began to smell strange. Some soldiers swore it was poison. But the tests showed nothing. The commander ordered full lockdown, no one in or out. "Seal the ships. The humans are using some kind of mental warfare. We will wait it out." But waiting only made things worse. Some of the soldiers began scratching. Walls writing the same word again and again in their own language. "Run." They didn't know why, they just felt it. Like something was coming. Something that couldn't be stopped. One ship tried to leave orbit, to escape Earth and return to space. But the moment it rose above the clouds, something hit it. Not a missile, not a beam. Just nothing. The ship froze mid-air. Systems shut down. It stopped moving completely. Then, slowly, it was pulled back, down to Earth, without a single sound. The Jorak watched in horror. No human weapon had done that. No human ship had even appeared. The Earth itself had done it. Or something inside the Earth. For the first time, the Jorak commander whispered the words he had never spoken before. "We should not have come here." But now it was too late. They weren't fighting a war, they were inside a trap. A living one. And the real terror hadn't even started. The skies over Earth stayed dark. The massive alien ships floated like dead giants. The Jorak commander sat quietly in his chair, no longer shouting orders. His face was pale. His red eyes were tired. All around him, his army was falling apart. Not from weapons, but from fear, silence, and something they couldn't understand. Inside the ships, soldiers no longer trusted each other. Some spoke to walls, some cried in corners, others simply stared ahead, repeating strange words in broken whispers. No one knew where the fear came from. It was in the air, in the lights, in their dreams. They slept with weapons, but no one wanted to sleep. In one city, a team of 6 Jorak soldiers was ordered to find the source of the signal underground. They entered an old tunnel deep below the streets. As they walked, the lights flickered. Static buzzed in their helmets. They lost contact with the main ship. "Keep moving," said the team leader. "The humans are weak. This is just a game." But the deeper they went, the colder it got. Then they heard it. A low hum, like breathing, like a heartbeat, but not human. One soldier pointed to the wall. It was pulsing, moving, like it was alive. The leader reached out to touch it. "What is this?" he asked. The wall opened. Screams filled the tunnel. Only one soldier made it back to the surface. He had no wounds, no injuries. But his mind was broken. He just kept repeating the same thing. "It sees us now." Back in space, other alien fleets tried to contact the Jorak Armada, but all messages failed. No one could reach the Earth fleet. They had vanished from the galaxy's network. Cut off alone. Still, some tried to help. A small Jorak rescue ship entered Earth's orbit quietly, hoping to stay hidden. But the moment it crossed the atmosphere, its screens turned black. All power stopped. The ship began to fall. Slowly, as if pulled down by invisible hands. It crashed into the ocean, and no one ever heard from it again. The humans said nothing. They fired no shots, sent no threats, showed no soldiers. They simply watched. In the underground human base, the general stood before a large screen. Around him were quiet officers and scientists. "They sent another rescue ship," said one officer. "Gone, just like the last 2. The general nodded. "Good, they still don't understand." He looked at a strange glowing machine behind him. It hummed softly. A signal pulsed from it, deep and slow. A scientist spoke. The black sun is fully active now. They're hearing it even in space. Soon they'll see it too. The general turned to his team. Prepare Phase 3. Meanwhile, on the Jorak flagship, alarms blared. Soldiers ran through the halls. Power systems were crashing. Walls began to leak black mist, thick and cold. The mist crawled across floors, touched machines and made them die. And then a face appeared in the fog. Not human, not alien, something else. Its eyes were hollow. Its mouth didn't move, but a voice echoed in every ear. You are inside the prison now. The commander fired his weapon at the fog. It did nothing. He screamed, "Who are you? What are you?" The voice replied, "We are what your war awakened." Suddenly, hundreds of Jorak soldiers began to faint. Others collapsed, shaking. The ship started to spin slowly, as if pulled by something below the planet. The commander turned to his last officer. "We must escape, even if it means leaving our men." But it was already too late. Earth had changed. It was no longer just a planet. It was something far worse. And now, it was awake. Above Earth, the once powerful Jorak fleet now floated like broken leaves in space. Their systems were dead, their weapons useless. Inside the command ship, the air was cold and heavy. Lights flickered. The silence was louder than screams. The Jorak commander stood alone, watching the blue planet below. He didn't see Earth as a weak world anymore. He saw a trap, a living trap. Every attempt to escape had failed. Every ship sent for rescue had vanished. His best soldiers were gone, taken by shadows, voices, or fear itself. Some had turned on each other. Others had taken off their helmets and walked into the darkness, smiling like they no longer belonged to themselves. The commander clenched his fists. This is not war. This is the punishment. But punishment for what? Back on the surface, a single Jorak scout woke up in an abandoned building. He didn't remember how he got there. His weapon was missing. His communicator was broken. The city around him was dead quiet, but he wasn't alone. He stepped outside and saw them. Humans, not soldiers. Just people. Calm, silent, watching. A small girl stood in the middle of the street holding a white balloon. She looked up at him and whispered, "You made Earth angry." Then she vanished into thin air. The scout ran. In the hidden underground base, the human general sat before the glowing black sun device. It pulsed slowly, sending signals deep into space. His officers stood ready. A young soldier asked, "Sir, are we going too far?" The general didn't answer at first. Then he said, "They came to break us, burn our cities, take our home. But Earth isn't just a planet. It remembers." He turned to the countdown screen. Only 12 hours left until Phase 4. Back on the Jorak ship, the commander tried one last thing. He sent a message across space to the Jorak homeworld. "We were wrong," he said. "Earth is not what we thought. It is alive, and it's hunting us." But no reply came. Instead, his screen turned black. A face appeared. Not human. Not alien. Something ancient. Eyes like stars. A mouth that didn't move but somehow spoke in 1,000 voices. "You came for war," it said, "but you stepped on a grave. This planet remembers every invasion, every death, every empire that thought it could conquer it." The commander dropped to his knees. "What are you?" the voice whispered. "We are what Earth creates when it's had enough." Suddenly, every screen on every ship showed the same thing. Millions of human faces, past and present. Soldiers, scientists, children, survivors. They stared directly into the cameras. And then, the Earth itself seemed to whisper, "You are not the first. You will not be the last. But you will be remembered as the ones who made us stop being human." The skies turned red. The oceans glowed dark. And one by one, the Jorak ships began to fall, slowly, gently, pulled toward the surface. The commander looked up, tears in his alien eyes. He knew now. This wasn't a war, it was judgment, and Earth was the judge. The final Jorak ship touched down in silence. There were no explosions, no screaming, just silence. The commander stepped out of the ship alone. His army was gone, his weapons useless. The stars above him seemed farther away than ever before. He looked around at Earth's strange beauty, so calm, so quiet, so deadly. And then he heard footsteps. A single human man walked toward him, dressed not in armor, but in a simple black coat. His face was calm, his eyes sharp. The commander raised his hands in surrender. "I don't understand," the alien said. "We came to conquer. You should have fought back." The man stopped a few feet away. "You didn't come for war," he said softly. "You came to dominate, to crush, to wipe us out." The commander lowered his head. "Yes, and we failed." The human nodded. "Because war is not the worst thing Earth can give." The sky rumbled. The ground beneath them pulsed. From every corner of the planet, strange towers began to rise, black machines glowing with light. The black sun device, hidden beneath Earth's surface, had reached full power. Its signals echoed across space, through every galaxy, through every hidden Jorak outpost. Back in deep space, far from Earth, Jorak commanders panicked. "It's them, it's Earth. They're sending something. No, it's already here." Their systems collapsed. Their ships froze mid-air. They were no longer the hunters. They were prey. Back on Earth, the human man spoke again. "You asked for war, but Earth gave you something far worse." The commander trembled. "What is this? What are you?" The man took one step closer. "We are not just humans anymore, not after what your kind did. You took our peace, you burned our cities, you made us wake something ancient." He looked up at the sky as the clouds swirled in strange shapes. A low hum filled the air. "You see," he said, "Earth doesn't forget pain. It stores it, learns from it, evolves. And when enough blood is spilled, it fights back." The commander fell to his knees. "Please, we didn't know." A tear rolled down his alien cheek. The man looked at him with cold eyes. "Now you do." Behind him, millions of humans stood, silent, strong, united. They had no fear, no anger, just power. They had become something more, something the universe had never seen before. And in that moment, the galaxy changed, forever. The Jorak Empire collapsed within days. No messages, no warning, just silence. Other alien races watched from afar, afraid to even speak Earth's name. Because now everyone knew the truth. Earth had no empire, but Earth had memory. And when pushed too far, Earth answered. They wanted war, but Earth gave them something far worse: humanity, unbroken. Humanity awakened, humanity unstoppable, and the stars would never forget.